This millionaire CEO mocked a cleaning lady on camera. The shocking truth revealed. The air crackled with tension as the crowd gathered around the sleek glass building. Murmurs rippled through the spectators, hungry for the latest scandal. Today was no ordinary day at the luxury high-rise. Today the CEO of Brighttech, Victor Hawthorne, a man known for his biting remarks and charming smile, had crossed a line. The video played on loop, showing him sneering at a cleaning lady caught in a moment of vulnerability. She was just trying to do her job, pushing a mop across the glossy floor when he belittled her with a laugh that echoed in the cold lobby. There was something unsettling in the way he dismissed her, as if she were nothing more than a shadow occupying his space, but the mystery went deeper. Who was this woman, really? Her name was Anna, and whispers suggested she carried a hidden past. Some said she had once been an entrepreneur herself, but life had turned her dreams into dust, pushing her into this unrecognized role. As Victor's mocking words exploded across social media, viewers felt the heat of shared outrage. How could he? Echoed in worried tones. The more they watched, the more they wanted to know where Anna had come from and what had driven her to this point. And then, just as the anger peaked, a different tone emerged. A mysterious comment on the video planted a seed of doubt. You think you know the story. But there's more. It was posted by an account that had 0 followers and an absolute lock on secrets, sending chills down spines. Anna had seemed so plain. Yet what if there was more than met the eye? The crowd buzzed, faces tense with a mix of disgust and curiosity. There were whispers about an old family fortune and connections to the elite. How could a woman pushed to the sidelines have such roots? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As the video rolled on, revealing Victor's self-satisfaction, a flicker of determination crossed Anna's face. In this moment of humiliation, she seemed to find her strength. Just what kind of storm was brewing beneath the surface? The atmosphere thickened with anticipation. People leaned in closer, hearts pounding as they waited for a twist, a revelation. Something that would pull them deeper into this tangled web of privilege and pain. Could Anna rise from the ashes? Or was she just a pawn swept away in a game played by the powerful? What secret did she hide that could change everything? The crowd held its breath, buzzing with questions, as the stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of wealth and status. The video looped, the malicious laughter still echoing in the minds of the crowd. Anna stood still for a moment, allowing the waves of humiliation to wash over her. But instead of retreating, something snapped. The gossiping crowd, the judgmental glances cast her way, it all fueled an inferno of resolve deep within her. She felt the weight of everyone's eyes, and in that moment, she shifted from being the forgotten cleaning lady to the center of an unfolding narrative. Listen, shouted a young woman with fiery determination in her voice. This isn't just about a mean CEO. We need to find out who she really is. The crowd suddenly felt a curious stir, like a chant building momentum. Phones came out, fingers tapping furiously to dig for the truth behind Anna's story, her hidden past igniting flames of intrigue. Anna clutched the mop tightly, her knuckles white. She had spent so long trying to blend into the background, to become invisible in a world that seemed so intent on ignoring her existence. But now the rising tide of voices sparked something fierce. What if she didn't fade away this time? What if she fought back? Hey, you all act so high and mighty, a man in a suit yelled, pushing his way to the front. But are you any better than him? His words ricocheted through the crowd, inciting confusion and brief silence as everyone considered the implications of their own outrage. The moment hung in the air, ripe with tension. Anna took a deep breath, suddenly aware of how much the moment meant. She raised her voice, trembling but anchored in conviction. If you think I'm just a nobody, she began, then you have no idea what I've been through or who I used to be. Gasps rippled amongst the crowd as her words hit hard, wrapping them in an unexpected embrace of vulnerability. A woman called out, her voice soft but filled with strength. Who were you? Tell us. The demand resonated like a loud drum, a call to arms for everyone questioning their own part in this story. With her heart racing and her eyes shimmering, Anna recounted snippets of her past, the moments of brilliance when she had launched a small business, when success felt palpable and anything seemed possible. I was labeled an entrepreneur, she said, a hint of defiance creeping into her voice, until life twisted my fate, pushed me down into this role. Every word felt liberating, a step closer to reclaiming her narrative. The crowd shifted, no longer just spectators but participants in a dramatic unfolding. My failures don't define me, but this moment standing here, amidst you all, gives me hope, Anna continued with passion igniting her tone. Some faces softened with understanding as pieces of the puzzle began to click into place. Others still grappled with the implications of her story in relation to Victor and his careless disdain. Could someone brought low have the strength to rise? Before long, the tension erupted like a volcano. Chants broke out in favor of Anna, voices lifting in solidarity as the disenfranchised became emboldened. Anna! 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 They shouted, and with each repetition, a forceful unity emerged, shaking the very foundation of the high-rise that once felt impenetrable. But just as momentum reached its peak, a black SUV screeched to a halt just outside the building. The crowd turned as Victor stepped out, his confidence radiating like a repulsive aura. "What's all this commotion?" he barked, his presence commanding attention and fear. The collective gasp echoed a warning through the throng. This was at the precise moment where everything could change. Although Anna felt the ground beneath her shift, she stood her ground, eyes locked onto Victor. The battle lines were drawn, but what would Anna do next? As Victor advanced, the air thickened with an unshakable gravity. Everyone held their breath, ready for the explosion that was about to unfold. What would Anna confront first? The enmity of an arrogant CEO? Or the ghosts of her past that had brought her to this reckoning? The answer loomed like a shadow overhead, waiting to unleash a truth that could neither be ignored nor denied. In this fierce crucible of social dynamics, one thing was clear. Her life was about to change forever. The tension was electric, crackling like a storm before it breaks. Anna stared defiantly at Victor, feeling a mix of dread and power coil within her. The chant of her name from the crowd roared in her ears, pushing her forward. She could sense the crowd's anticipation, a collective breath held at the edge of uncertainty, a moment thick with the heat of rebellion. "What do you want?" Victor sneered, dismissing them with a wave, but his words fell flat against the momentum building around Anna. She noticed the faces in the crowd, some hopeful, others skeptical, but all were firmly on her side. "Your arrogance ends today," Anna shot back, her voice stronger than she ever imagined it could be. The words seemed to rise from her core, igniting a new fire within her. "You think you can destroy me like I'm some forgotten dust? I have more to say than you think." The atmosphere shifted. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Victor's brows knitted together, irritation clear on his face. The laughter from that humiliating video suddenly felt like a weight on his shoulders, a ghost he couldn't shake. "Everyone here is asking who you really are, Anna," he retorted, a hint of panic slicing through his bravado. "A cleaning lady with delusions of grandeur? Is that it?" "Enough!" shouted a voice from the back, a man stepping forward, his face determined and bright with anger. "You don't get to belittle her. We want to know the truth." Victor's face darkened. The shift in power was palpable, like a dark cloud settling over him. "You people have no idea who you're messing with," he barked, but a nervous edge crept into his tone. Anna saw opportunities in the tension and seized that moment. "You want to know what makes me different?" She took a step closer to Victor, leveling her own gaze with his icy stare. "I might be cleaning floors now, but I built a business of my own once. I had dreams. I dared to be more than just a name on a paycheck." A low ripple of disbelief coursed through the crowd. Could it be true? A woman like her, a forgotten cog in the corporate machine, had once been on top? Yes. She pressed on, her heart pounding in rhythm with her conviction. "I failed and I lost everything because of people like you." Her voice echoed off the shiny glass of the high-rise. "You use your power to squash us." The crowd erupted in angry shouts, a primal roar. "Anna! Anna!" The chant felt like a tidal wave. Victor staggered back, realizing he might not have the grip on this situation he once thought. In that moment, Anna caught sight of a familiar face in the crowd, David, a man from her past who had once believed in her dreams. And suddenly, all the feelings that had been buried deep inside surged back. Before she could hear what he might shout, Victor stepped forward, reclaiming his authority. "Let us be clear, Anna," he said, his voice turning cold. "The truth will always rise to the top. And I won't let you spin a different narrative." His threat hung thick in the air and fear rippled through Anna's heart. "Who says you get to write the ending of this story?" she shouted back, her fear giving way to defiance. But Victor wasn't finished. "This isn't over. You think they'll rally behind you forever?" he leered, stepping closer, invading her space. "I'll make sure your past will always haunt you." Anna felt a chill creep up her spine. 1,000 questions filled her mind. Would he really dig into her past? Would he use his power to silence her? Suddenly the crowd surged, echoing their support. Anna! Anna! It was no longer just about her. It was personal for all of them, a stand against oppression. But as she looked at Victor, determination turned to dread. What dark corners of her past would come to light next? What damage could he inflict when he had so much to lose? Before Anna could figure out her next move, a loud crash disrupted the scene, a sound like glass shattering. Eyes from every direction turned to see a figure lurking just beyond the entrance. Eyes locked on Anna with a twisted smile. In that heartbeat, everything changed. Who was this new player? And how did they fit into the explosive confrontation about to unfold? Anna's heart raced as the crowd's chant began to fade, replaced by the ominous sound of feet shuffling, whispers weaving through the masses like smoke. Victor's icy expression turned to a mix of anger and confusion as the figure beyond the entrance stepped closer, silhouetted against the harsh light. "Who is that?" someone shouted from the back, a ripple of concern spreading through the ranks. Anna took a breath, her pulse quickening. The newcomer was tall, dressed in a tailored suit that shimmered even in the noon sunlight, casting an almost unreal sheen over their presence. As they stepped into the light, Anna recognized the face. It was Marcus, her former business partner. The betrayal cut deep, sharper than any knife. "Marcus," she whispered, dread pooling in her stomach. Victor's smirk returned, but this time it had a mischievous flair, like a cat that had caught the canary. "Well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. Your knight in shining armor, Anna?" The crowd shift became palpable, a wall of uncertainty rising like a tide. Anna felt it pulling at her, threatening to flip her from solid ground to chaos. She fought to stand her ground. "Marcus, what are you doing here?" He strolled towards her, that familiar, calculating glimmer in his eye. "I couldn't miss this spectacle, could I?" he drawled, glancing at the crowd before his eyes locked with hers, an unsettling blend of arrogance and pity. "Your story is just beginning, isn't it, Anna? But you might want to brace yourself," he warned, his tone dripping with a mix of amusement and malice. "Are you here to help me, or to stab me in the back again?" Anna countered, her voice steadier than she felt. "Please, it wouldn't be a proper showdown without a little drama, would it?" He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You think Victor is the worst of your worries? I've been working hard to ensure your past doesn't stay buried." Shock rolled through the crowd. A collective gasp echoed, replacing their once fervent cheers with uncertainty and murmurs of disbelief. Anna could see doubt seeping into their eyes, their faith wavering like a candle flickering in the wind. "What do you mean?" she asked, her heart pounding. Victor watched her with glee, as if she were a pawn in his game. "Let us just say, Anna, I've got some photos that would make for a rather explosive reveal. And your glossy rise to power has a few stains we haven't discussed." He leaned in closer, his breath a toxic whisper. "You don't want them getting out. You've built your little revolution on shaky ground. Win or lose, I'm going to enjoy watching it fall." The crowd turned restless, shifting from triumphant support to uneasy doubt. Had they rallied behind a facade? Victor's laughter boomed. "You see, Anna? This is what happens when you challenge the wrong people." Anna's stomach twisted. She had thought the worst was behind her. But Marcus wasn't just a ghost from her past. He was a bomb ready to detonate. "Don't let him shake you," David shouted from the back, his voice fierce, pulling her out of the fog. "We believe in you." Glancing at David, her heartbeat surged again, renewed by that flicker of hope. She wouldn't let Marcus control the narrative. She couldn't get out. Anna shouted back at Marcus, her voice fierce. You don't own this story. I may have made mistakes, but not anymore. But Marcus only smiled, and it sent an icy shudder down her spine. The crowd held its breath, waiting for the next move. How far would Marcus go to destroy her? As the tension hung heavy in the air, a buzzing sensation began building in Anna's mind. She felt a spark igniting within her, fueled by the stakes rising higher with each heartbeat. What do you want, Marcus? She demanded. Come to watch me fail, or will you join this fight? Standing there, poised for her response, Anna knew one thing for sure. He wouldn't come without an agenda of his own. But she had a twist of fate up her sleeve too. With uncertainty rippling through them, the crowd waited, ready for the next step in this high-stakes game. And what would Marcus's next move be now that the stakes had reached a boiling point? The air crackled with tension. Anna glared at Marcus, every muscle taut with determination. She needed to take control back. But the whispers around her threatened to drown her out. Just behind her, Victor's laughter tainted the atmosphere, filling her with dread. Marcus stepped closer, shadows playing tricks on the edges of his sharply cut suit. You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. Everyone loves a good scandal, Anna. Especially when it's wrapped in a bow of betrayal. Rage simmered in Anna's chest. Survival instinct kicked in. You think you can intimidate me? My life isn't a game for your amusement. You're right, he said, feigning sympathy. It's not a game. It's just your reality crumbling brick by brick. And what a beautiful collapse it will be. I look forward to every sordid detail. A wave of nausea rolled over her. The crowd's faith, their excitement, how fragile it all was. If Marcus pushed his card, would it be enough? Would they turn against her? Anna! David shouted, breaking her reverie. They need you to lead. Show them who you really are. His voice carved through the noise like a knife. Courage settled in Anna's bones. You think you can break me, Marcus? Two can play this game. The crowd inhaled, caught in the pendulum of hope and doubt. She mustered her strength, eyes narrowing on Marcus. What if I expose you? Your dirty little secrets? The lies tucked away in that puffed-up ego of yours? Marcus raised an eyebrow, genuine curiosity glinting in his eye. Do tell. A smile stretched across her face. Startled even her, but it felt right. What would it say about you, the so-called entrepreneur, if I revealed how you went bankrupt trying to cover up your own failure? The truth about why you lost everything. He stepped back, lips curling into a mocking grin. Oh, I've long since buried that. Besides, we both know nobody would believe you. Look around, Anna. You tread on thin ice. But the seed of doubt she had noticed earlier was now blooming. She sensed the crowd shifting. Marcus, self-assured as he was, couldn't see that. As whispers grew, Anna locked eyes with David. He nodded subtly, igniting a fire within her. She held her hand up to silence the crowd. You know it's true, Marcus. I'm not afraid of you, and I won't let you destroy everything I've fought for. I will rise and you will be left in the dust. Victor's laughter turned into a snarl. You think these people will still be with you as your secrets unravel? They crave a hero, Anna. You can't be theirs if you're hiding in the shadows. Marcus seized the opportunity exactly. They want truth, not lies. Share your secrets or let me tell them. Face it, you can't win this. In that instant, something shifted in the crowd. Desperation clashed with determination. The air thick with anticipation. Anna felt the weight of her choices pushing against her chest. They needed proof, something tangible, something that could redirect the narrative. With her heart racing, she leaned in, lowering her gaze to the ground. Then perhaps it's time to show you how authentic I can be. The moment hung in the air. Victor's confident exterior cracked just enough for doubt to seep in. And she had a plan, a risky one, but what good was security without a little chaos? As Anna pulled out her phone, her hand trembled just slightly. The crowd was silent, expectation lingering like a heavy cloud. Marcus's smile faltered. What are you doing? Something that will make you wish you had stayed in the shadows. She pressed the screen, heart racing, knowing this next step could either pull her up or plunge her into darkness. Would Marcus destroy her? Or had she just opened a door he couldn't close? The bright screen lit up Anna's determined expression as she stared down her adversary. But just as she hit play, the ground shook beneath them. What had she unleashed? The crowd's tension froze and Anna realized the game had only just begun. The video flickered to life, the screen glowing eerily in the dim light. Anna held her breath, every eye in the crowd fixed on her phone. It started with a familiar scene, a high-end restaurant, sparkling chandeliers, and the laughter of well-to-do patrons. But then the laughter morphed into something darker. A woman, clearly overwhelmed and out of place, struggled with a heavy cart of cleaning supplies. "Look at her, can you believe this?" Marcus's voice came through, smooth and mocking, as if he relished the power he held in that moment. Those words echoed in Anna's mind like a dagger, twisting deeper with every playback. Gasps rippled through the crowd. They were seeing Marcus as she had never wanted them to, a man who thrived on the misfortune of others. "What a joke," he had said, the camera catching him smirking. "Someone should really body shame these cleaners." Anna felt a cold sweat trickle down her back. She could hear whispers forming fractures among the audience. Disbelief, horror, and fury collided in that instant. Would they turn towards her or him? The ground rumbling beneath her had been more than a seismic shift. It was the first warning of the shockwave to come. But then, just like that, everything went dark. The screen cut into a black void. The sound of Marcus's laughter replaced by a sharp static. Gasps turned into murmurs, an avalanche of confusion. In that moment, Anna's heart raced faster than her thoughts could catch up. "What's happening?" someone shouted. Panic spread like wildfire. "I don't know." Anna's eyes darted frantically to her phone, only to find that it had died. The battery drained entirely in the middle of the most important moment of her life. The crowd erupted in a frenzy, a mass of panic and outrage about to spill over. "Get the lights back," Victor yelled, his voice cutting through the chaos. But his smirk vanished as anger ignited around him. With the atmosphere growing heavier, Anna grappled with the consequences unraveling by the second. She had pulled back the curtain, and now it was tearing at the seams. Anna stepped forward once again, her authority wheeling like a roiling tide. "Everyone, please listen." But the crowd was a storm now, a chaotic swirl of disbelief and anger. Some shouted for justice. Others called for Marcus. She caught sight of David standing firm, urging more to rally to her side. Then in the corner of her eye, she noticed a figure slipping away. Marcus, his retreat cloaked by the shadows and the confusion he had stirred, snaking back toward the exit. "Stop!" Anna cried, but the word crackled against the din. Her heart raced once more as she considered her next move. Did she chase after Marcus, unveiling more of his lies? Or did she focus on the crowd, bring them back into her fold? It hit her hard. Her biggest fear was not the reveal of truth, but the potential power of silence. For every second she hesitated, Marcus could slip further away, leaving doubt and confusion to fester. She inhaled deeply. The stakes were too high. "I have more," she shouted, her voice breaking through the tumult. "I know what he is hiding." Heads turned, fingers pointed, energy shifting. The crowd quieted enough to hear her, and she saw the glimmers of hope emerging from despair. Would they believe her now? Was there still time to reclaim control? Anna's eyes scanned for inspiration, and then it hit her. She remembered the proof buried deep in her emails. "I have access to documents that would shatter his image," she cried, pointing at the back wall where an enormous projector sat, waiting for a signal. "Do you want truth?" she continued, heart pounding. "Then let us show it." The gathered crowd turned toward the projector, anticipation coursing through the air like electricity, sensing they were standing on the brink of something monumental. The tension hung thick, pregnant with expectations, her next words teetering on the edge of revealing either her ruin or salvation. And in that moment, amidst the chaos, the lights flickered back to life, illuminating the faces that hungered for something more. What would it reveal? The crowd held its breath, caught in a web of anticipation, as the projector hummed to life. Would Anna find her redemption, or would Marcus pull her deeper into his twisted game? As the projector whirred to life, beams of light pierced through the shadows, turning the chaos into focus. Anna's heart pounded in her chest, each beat a drumroll resonating with the crowd's growing eagerness. She could almost taste the mix of fear and excitement swirling through the air, thick enough to choke on. This was it, the moment where everything could change. The screen flickered, revealing a flurry of emails and documents, each pixel bursting with purpose. Anna had gathered evidence over the weeks. Emails, links to hidden videos and incriminating photos. But she couldn't help the tremor in her hands as she tapped the screen to navigate through her well-prepared arsenal. The audience leaned in, eyes widening, breaths catching. The first image displayed was a screenshot of Marcus boasting in a private chat about his disregard for those he deemed less worthy. "Oh my God," a voice whispered from the crowd. Disbelief thickened the atmosphere. Anna felt the gravity of her choice. This was beyond revealing Marcus's cruelty. It was about unveiling the layers of deceit that were tightly woven into the fabric of their lives. "Listen to this," she urged, her voice steadier now with conviction. She held up her phone with trembling fingers, connecting it to the projector so everyone could hear. "This is how he really operates." The sound of Marcus's voice filled the room, a tape recording of a phone call where he dropped cruel words about workers, sneering at them as if they were simply burdens. "They're all expendable in my world," he said, laughter oozing from his lips. Gasps erupted like fireworks. Anna felt the room shift. The anger radiating from each face was palpable. "Can you believe this guy?" someone shouted, echoing the collective outrage. "He's been lying to us." Anna pressed on, cycling through evidence that painted a damning portrait of Marcus, one that ripped apart the shiny facade he had so carefully crafted. The crowd absorbed every word, each image reinforcing the reality of a man who thrived on the suffering of others, branding his own moral corruption for all to see. Yet as each revelation cut deeper, Anna felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Would these revelations tear apart the bonds she shared with the crowd? Or would they unite to stand against him? David stepped forward from the throng, his voice rising above the murmur. "Anna, this isn't just about Marcus. We need to consider where this goes. What happens next?" The question struck a chord. The shared discomfort hung in the air. Everyone was afraid of the fallout. But Anna could also sense a hunger for justice, for truth, a desperate need to rewrite their roles in this story. "Marcus may hold the key to this facade," Anna started, "but we hold the power to destroy it. Are we going to let his reign of cruelty continue?" The crowd shifted, murmurs of agreement bubbling up. They rallied as if her words were a rallying cry, and Anna felt a surge of adrenaline wash over her. With this momentum, they could challenge the norm dictated by fear and intimidation. But just as she began to feel hope bloom in their midst, the lights flickered once more. A shadow darted across the back of the room. Marcus had returned. His face twisted into a snarl, and the crowd drew back, gasping as the atmosphere shifted once again. The tension so thick it felt suffocating. "You think you can ruin me?" His voice sliced through the air, cold and menacing. "You will regret this, Anna." The crowd surged forward, ready to confront him, but Anna felt a cold grip of dread around her heart. One twist, one slip, and everything they fought for could be undone. The projector sputtered before darkening again, leaving them in suspense. Would they follow through and stand against Marcus, or would fear once again chain them to silence? As Anna took a step forward, ready to defend what they'd built, a question clung tightly to the air. How far was she willing to go to expose his true face? The battle lines were drawn, and in the clash of darkness and light, Anna wondered if she had any chance of winning. The stakes continued to rise, and they were headed towards a dangerous climax. What would happen when the truth collided head-on with Marcus's wrath? Marcus's arrival felt like a freight train barreling down the tracks, and the chill running through Anna's veins reminded her that the time for words had nearly passed. The projector died, plunging the room into darkness, and for a split second, there was only the sound of heavy breathing and hearts pounding as adrenaline filled the space. "What are you going to do?" Marcus chuckled, a sinister edge slicing through the tension. The crowd had shifted. They were a tightly coiled spring ready to snap. Anna could feel the electrifying buzz of courage about to explode. "Just tell us the truth, Marcus." Someone shouted from the crowd, voice shaking yet resolute. "What you've done is unforgivable. You're all pathetic," he spat, his sneer exposing the dark corners of his character. "You think this changes anything? You're nothing without me. I built this place." The words hung in the air, sour and acidic. Anna could see the faces around her, a mix of fear and fury flickering like candle flames. David clenched his fist, a silent vow brewing they wouldn't let him intimidate them. But Marcus wasn't done. "You all crave this false sense of power. As if tearing me down will elevate you." The flicker of confidence shifted in his eyes. I'm untouchable. You really think anyone will believe you? Just look at you. He waved a hand dismissively, screaming in the dark. Anna's heart raced. He was good at twisting perceptions, but this time would be different. Do you really believe that? She shot back, her voice cutting through his bravado. You may be rich, but power comes from honesty, not manipulation. Some in the crowd exchanged glances, surprise sparking hope as murmurs of solidarity began to rise again. It was fragile, delicate, like a strand of glass ready to shatter, but it was there. Enough! Marcus roared, breaking the tension like a crack of thunder. The lights above flickered back to life, blinding brightness swallowing the shadows that had felt so suffocating moments before. Anna squinted against the glare, desperate to see her allies. You wanna fight? Marcus stepped forward, his presence commanding and cruel. I'll destroy you all, every last one. Fear tugged at Anna's insides, every instinct screaming to flee, yet she stood planted. You're no better than the rest of us, Marcus. What are the lies worth if they collapse under the weight of truth? Shut her up. He bellowed, desperation creeping into his tone, a crack in his steely armor. A few people at the back of the room hesitated, and Anna recognized their expressions of doubt. Would they back down now? Would they allow him to sweep them back into conformity? Remember the cleaning lady? She called out, recalling the face of the woman he had mocked on that dreadful video she once stumbled across. Remember how you laughed at her? The crowd fell silent, faces stiffening as if each word was a dagger aimed at their collective conscience. Her heart raced as she sensed the shift. Do you want a world like that? Anna pressed. Where power allows cruelty to thrive. Where we bury our heads in shame for fear of speaking out. Marcus glared at her, anger radiating like heat from a fire. But she saw something in those hard eyes. It was fear. As the crowd began to chant her name, Anna. Anna! A voice broke through. What do we do now? It was David, his tone indicative of their shared uncertainty, but also of their hope. Together, she shouted over the rally, finding strength in every voice calling out alongside hers. We stand together because what's at stake is bigger than any single one of us. Just then the doors slammed open and a figure dashed in. Anna's breath caught as she found herself staring at a familiar face illuminated against the bright lights. It was the cleaning lady herself, the very woman Marcus had mocked on the video. What are you all waiting for? She demanded, courage emanating from her every word. Let us show him what bravery looks like. A palpable thrill surged through the crowd, and Anna felt a fire ignite within her. But at that moment Marcus's frigid face twisted into a grin. Calculating and predatory. Let us see how brave you really are, he whispered, the threat lurking just beneath the surface. How deep did his connections run? What lengths would he go to protect himself? Anna knew they were standing on a precipice, ready to plunge into unknown chaos. The outcome felt like a tightly coiled spring waiting to snap. And as fear battled hope in the hearts of her allies, they all stood together, ready to face whatever Marcus unleashed next. Would they find strength in unity, or would they be crushed? The air thickened with uncertainty. What was about to unfold could change everything forever. Marcus's grin widened, a predator sensing his prey trembling in fear. The air crackled with an electric tension as he shifted his weight, muscles coiled, ready to pounce. Anna could feel her heart pounding in her chest, each thump a harsh reminder of the stakes they were facing. Bravery, huh? Marcus sneered, his voice dripping with sarcasm. What a quaint thought. But let us not pretend. You think just because you have a crowd you have power? You're clowns in a circus, Anna. A colorful display to keep me entertained. Some in the crowd flinched at his words, doubt creeping back in. But Anna refused to be swayed. She glanced at the cleaning lady, whose steel-eyed gaze matched her fierce determination. There was a strength in the woman's presence that inspired Anna. They were no longer just individuals. They were a movement of force ready to expose the lies surrounding them. How many of you actually believe you can take me down? Marcus challenged, a twisted smile playing on his lips. You think people care about your little grievances? The world loves success, not your sad tales of hardship. With that success comes accountability. Anna shouted back, her voice rising above the roar of burgeoning dissent. You're not invincible, Marcus. Every lie has a consequence. We know what you've done and we won't back down. Not now. Behind her, she could hear murmurs of agreement. The gathered crowd was starting to solidify into something more profound than mere rebellion. It was a wave of shared pain, and anger high on betrayal, converging into action. Shut her up. Marcus barked, frustration edging into panic. It was the moment Anna needed. The crowd, emboldened, responded with a chorus of shouts. No more lies. No more fear. Suddenly, 2 security guards appeared at the entrance, their stern faces betraying nothing but their intent. Marcus waved them off, but unease flickered in his eyes. He was losing grip and he knew it. Pathetic, he muttered, his bravado sketching cracks in the facade. All of you. But Anna could see the crack in his armor widening. Together, we can stand against the likes of you. The cleaning lady interjected, her voice resounding through the tense space. You're not the monster you think you are. The truth can blind you. When enough of us stand together, it becomes too bright for even you to ignore. Cheers erupted from the crowd, stronger now. A tidal wave of support crashing against Marcus's arrogance. His face twisted in anger, and for a moment, Anna felt a sliver of doubt pass through him. What's this? A group of nobodies trying to play the hero? Marcus stepped toward the middle of the room, rage replacing his earlier confidence. Every pulse of his body screamed that he was desperate. You think I won't bury you? You're all jokes. Just shouting to block out the truth. He took a step closer, and Anna could sense a shift, a warning. The walls of this confrontation were closing in. Feel that? Anna spoke directly to him, her voice unyielding. That smell in the air? It's fear. It's rising and you can't hide from it. No amount of wealth or power can cover the truth for long. In his eyes she saw it, a flicker of shock, then fury boiling just beneath the surface. Anna felt the room tilt as his anger poured out like a torrent. You're treading in dangerous waters and soon enough, you'll drown in them. Marcus lunged, his arm aiming to strike, but the crowd surged forward. A wall of bodies determined not to let one man destroy what they were building together. All at once a chorus of voices erupted. No more lies. No more fear. The air hung heavy, thick and electric like a storm ready to unleash chaos. Anna's heart raced, every breath filled with anticipation. The wildness of the moment pulled at her. Would they stop him, or would he push back harder than ever? With a sudden crash, lights flickered above, and the doors swung wide, another figure stepping into the fray. Anna froze. What now? More trouble? The stakes had just escalated again, and the outcome hung preciously in the balance. Would this new arrival play a part in their revolt or add to their troubles? The knowledge that everything could change in an instant sent chills racing down her spine, and she steeled herself for the unknown. The grip on their fates was about to tighten even further. A hushed silence fell over the gathering when the new figure stepped into the light. It was Rebecca, a former board member and once a loyal supporter of Marcus, now looking resolute and fierce. Gasps echoed in the throbbing crowd as she walked toward Anna, an unmistakable fire in her eyes. What are you doing here? Marcus sneered, the veneer of confidence cracking as Rebecca approached. You've turned your back on your own loyalty. Loyalty? To what? A tyrant who disrespects the very people who keep this place running? Rebecca shot back, unwavering. The crowd shifted closer, leaning in to catch each word, a wave of energy coursing through them, reminiscent of a volcano ready to erupt. Anna felt her heart swell with hope. This was the moment. You can try to silence us, Marcus, she called out, her voice ringing clear. But the truth will break the chains you forged from fear and cruelty. I'm not afraid of you or your pathetic little uprising, Marcus exclaimed, though the tremor in his voice gave him away. His bravado was a balloon slowly losing air. Rebecca locked eyes with Anna, a silent exchange sparking between them. Together we can show him the power of unity. The crowd roared in agreement, voices weaving into a tapestry of defiance. As Anna looked around, she saw not just fellow workers but a community forged out of shared experiences. All of them, one by one, had felt the sting of Marcus's arrogance, the weight of his cruelty. With a steady breath, Anna stepped closer to the front, her voice steady and sure. Marcus, you think you can intimidate us into silence, but those days are over. You've underestimated the strength of those you belittled. We won't be afraid of your threats anymore. The truth is on our side. A wave of applause erupted from the crowd, echoing off the glass walls that had once seemed so suffocating. Marcus's defiance slipped further as anxiety creased his brow. "You're a joke," he spat. "This little stunt won last." "Not a joke but a reckoning," Anna replied, powered by the crowd's energy. Rebecca stepped beside her, rallying the masses. "Look around. We are not alone in this fight. Your empire built on lies will crumble under the weight of our unity." With a swift gesture, Rebecca recounted Marcus's history of betrayal, how he had weaved webs of deceit within the company, manipulating employees and exploiting their trust. Images flashed across the projector, where the crowd gasped at the stark truths laid bare. Sensing victory tasting bittersweet on the edge of their tongues, the crowd tightened their circle, growing louder with chants of "Together. Truth," as waves of solidarity washed over them. Then, just as Anna sensed the tide turning, Marcus's voice rolled like thunder. "You dare expose your own dirty laundry? Let the world know your failures. Every scandal you hide will come to light. You think you can control this narrative?" He was wild now, shaking in the shadow of his unraveling world. "Let it be known then," Anna shouted back, her spine straight and her heart ignited with purpose. "We will not let your lies define us ever again. You've tried to bury us, but look at this moment. We rise." In that moment, Anna watched the fear dissolve from the faces around her. The crowd transformed their collective pasts of pain and struggle, intertwining into a future filled with hope. Marcus, realizing that his grip on power was slipping away, lunged forward, exuding desperation in a final bid to regain control. But the crowd surged, a wall of determined souls standing strong against his intimidation. "Marcus, you can't break us," shouted David from behind Anna, fierce and unyielding. "We've had enough of your games. It's time for a change." Anna turned to face the crowd, their faces sharpening with intent. "What we want now is transformation, no more fear. Just truth. With each truth we speak, your empire becomes just a memory." A round of cheers erupted like fireworks. The air around them turned vibrant, alive with possibility. Anna felt a weight lift from her chest, her voice ringing out like a battle cry. "Letting go of fear is where our journey begins together." As the words hung in the air, she caught a glimmer of what lay ahead, a vision where they stood united and unashamed, ready to rewrite their destinies. Marcus could only watch, his empire of power crumbling under the realization that he would face his reckoning. The crowd pushed forward, ready to reclaim their narrative, while Anna felt the warmth of shared resolve ignite her soul, the blooming flower of courage breaking through the cracked ground of loss. They were more than a mob. They were a movement, a powerful wave rising against oppression. And as the dawn broke through the glass, illuminating every face filled with determination, Anna stood tall, a testament to everything they had fought for, united against silence and subjugation. "Let us tell our story together." As silence draped around them, the roar of their resolution shimmered through the air, and they knew as one they would rise. Now is the moment for you. If you want to dive deeper into stories like Anna's, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel. Don't let this journey slip through your fingers. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and keep the fire burning. Flood the comments section with your thoughts and reactions. How does Anna's story resonate with you? What are your theories about the choices made today? And remember, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this explosive conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to spread the inspiration. True fans know how essential it is to support the channel with every action. Let us keep this community thriving.